So
you can do anything you want. Mm-hmm.
One question I got for you, because you seem to know a lot about this stuff, and maybe you'll have because I don't know the answer. So like, you had this experience when you died that you pop out of your body and there's this tunnel of light, which a lot of people experience. Actually, many experience this, this light tunnel that they're led towards. And there's some people that go in the darkness, and they call that the void. What about people who, they have these experiences like hell? They say they have no control, and they fall. It's the feeling of falling, and they end up in this terrible place where they experience like the extremes of pain, the extremes of everything. How does that work? How does that connect?
A lot of people that end up in this place called hell, because I started doing some research on this, and the nurse that I interviewed, there was one time he saw a red being instead of a blue being that came to get people when they died. And when he walked into the room, the man he died, just not very long after he came into the room, but he was on all fours, his hands and knees. He had crawled up backwards onto the wall trying to get away from this red being. He was so terrified and screaming, "Get him away from me! Get him away from me! Why is he here?" And very, very upset. So he came in. He said, lay down. He got him to lay down. He said, "Can I pray with you?" Because, they're trained to, whatever their religion is, let me help you with that. "Can I pray for you?" And he said, "Oh, yes." So when he started praying with him, the man calmed down. And then the red guy went away. A blue guy appeared. And then it was just moments after that, he died. He let go, and he died. So when somebody is in a horrible state, which typically these people are, in awful vibrations, if you want to call it that, when they die, maybe they just robbed a bank and they're running from the police, and there's a lot of, oh my gosh, going on, heavily into drugs, just committed suicide, was just a horrible person, or turned on themselves. But when you die, you're in this awful, horrible vibration, and you're still a creator being, whether you're in this body or not. You are a creator being. And wherever you're vibrating, you start creating on that level. Okay. So people who are in a horrible vibrational state will create, or they will not attract. What word am I trying to because there are levels lower than us.
So they're
We're not the lowest level.
Are they drawn to these, like if you're a person, I guess, that deals with this stuff, if you have a lot of guilt, I guess, over things that you do, are you just,
yes.
So you're just pulled there? Is there a way out? Is there a...
Absolutely. Oh, yes, I wouldn't tell you about it if there wasn't. So what has typically happened, obviously people have come back to tell you about this, and their story is almost exactly the same. And I didn't want to just believe them. I went out and experienced it for myself. But they were like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to the pits of hell. This is awful. There's screaming, there's burning, there's all this horrible stuff. Jesus, save me. Come get me. So what has happened, it's not necessarily Jesus that saves them, because there's all different religions that call out to their own deity or God, or some of them just say, "I'm going to think positive thoughts." Pop, and they're out of there. It doesn't matter what method is. What they've done is they've shifted their frequency. Because they believe Jesus will save them. Their intention was, "I'm getting out of here." Suddenly inside themselves, they have changed their frequency. And boom, they bring themselves up to a different place. There's lots of places to go in this reality or beyond. And that's a place that they take themselves.
Okay, because I've heard that before. I've heard that, people who have gone to hell said that they were free to leave, but they felt that they didn't deserve to leave.
Yes, it was themselves that were keeping them there. That low frequency, just like here on planet Earth. Who do you know that starts sulking and they won't stop? They won't fix themselves, because they don't think they're worthy or deserving or whatever. Whatever the reason is, they hold themselves there. That's what I teach people to do, to find where is that. Let's remove it from our body, get rid of it.
Okay. So it's all about energy and how we deal with energy and how we process energy, because we are energy.
Correct.
Okay, cool. So, is there a now we just went on a little, like, I went on a little journey and tried to remove some of
Cool.
the stuff in my stomach. Is there a real, like, simple thing that you can guide our audience on, that you can take them to, I guess, remote view, or is that what we did already?
Well, I did that with you, with the imagination and all. We can take them on a journey, and we could be remote viewing. And I'll just let you guys decide, I guess, what you want to do. Do you want me to teach you the technique of getting these emotions in the proper place, which is remote viewing and doing that? Or do you want me to take you to the spaceship that I call the Akashic Records? I don't know if that's what it is, but I can access all information, anything I want to know. The answer is there on that ship.
Oh, that sounds cool. I like the Akashic
okay.
Records. Unless Ryan, unless you're gonna.
No, I love the idea of access to all knowledge. It's kind of my thing.
Okay, let's do that one.
Awesome. So what you're going to do is you're going to basically close your eyes, and everything is going to happen in that place called imagination. Now, this is the trick. I'm teaching you all the tricks that they use to get you to stumble yourself. I mean, you do all this stuff to yourself through their tricks. The first thing is they try to get you to go through your midbrain, third eye, pineal. It doesn't matter what you call this thing going on that everybody thinks is going on. If you go through that, that's another trap in the matrix. So if you're going to be remote viewing and you go through that midbrain, however you want to call it, you go through that area. First of all, it's really hard. I don't know if anybody's tried to journey, like the Indians go with the spirit wolves and all of that stuff. If any of you guys have attempted to do that, well, this is hard. I can't do it. What did they teach you in school? Imagination is, this is not word for word. The definition of imagination is a place where you make stuff up. If nothing exists there, it's all made up stuff. Well, we're creator beings. When we make something up, it's actually there. We have created it. So the place called imagination, you don't see anything in there that's ever made up and doesn't exist. You see things that exist. It's either you actually see something that was already there, or you see something that you just created. One of those two things. So when I explain this to people, let's go into that place called, I call it imagination, and not like an act or an activity. This is a place that you look, and this is remote viewing. It's so easy. It is so easy to do, and so many people are remote viewing in seconds. So what I'm going to do, when you do this, I'm just going to go ahead and set the marker right now, and then we'll kind of start.
Hate me for religion, hate me for my color, hate me cause I'm taken, hate me cause you're not, hate on everything, cause underneath your skin I lie. I am the wizard. I'm all that you couldn't be.
I'm going to set a marker, and anybody can do this. It's called piggybacking. You just do it along with us. So I'm inside this. Hold on, sorry. I have to, there we go. Let me get inside the ship. Okay, now I'm going to put a marker. It's going to be red if it matters. It's going to be red, and it looks like it's, probably looks much bigger than that where I am, but for me in my human hand, it's probably about a foot tall, maybe 4 or 5 inches wide, and it's like a cylinder, and it's red. So I'm going to put it right here. All you have to do is, to get there, is go, okay, I don't know where the frack this is, but that thing in Kelly's head where she put the marker, I'm going to just go ahead and set my intention that when I look, I'm going to look there where she placed it. And that's how you do it. So with your eyes closed and that place called imagination, just go ahead and look and tell me what you see. This manages the entire omniverse. There are so many rooms in it. I probably have not been in the room that you're going to appear in. So go ahead and look and describe what the room looks like. Even as crazy as it sounds, just describe the room.
I just see black. I see black and a red cylinder. That's how I'm picturing it.
Okay. Okay, go ahead and I don't know how to explain this because you got really, really close. Either take a few steps back. You're hovering, not walking, but you follow what I'm saying. Take a few steps back. Now, what do you see? Now, the marker is going to get smaller, and the room is going to get bigger and in focus.
The room for me is kind of like structured like a house, I guess, but with white walls, with a slight almost transparent walls with a slight blue hint to them, but I can see stars around. Now, this is imagination. That's how my brain works. Unless Ryan, what do you see?
I immediately came up with a very confusing series of honeycomb structures. It was like a bunch of I don't even know if I'd call them rooms, but a series of honeycomb structures. That's the first thing that popped into my head when I went after the little red tube.
Mm-hmm. So, what is the light source in the room?
For me, it seemed like it was coming out of the walls.
That's like me.
Typically does. You'll see the light source from the floor, the ceiling, the walls. Light comes from everything. Mm-hmm. This is the level we're on right now. Everything's made of light.
Is it supposed to be transparent? Like that's how I see the walls.
Mm-hmm. So what has happened when you got there? Because let me go look at the honeycomb thing. Let me see what you're doing over here. You guys are in two separate places. Okay, the honeycomb, you kind of missed the mark, but that's okay. That's okay. You're in the ship. That was what is important. The marker was in the ship. You got in the ship. You just didn't get in the room. And there's nothing wrong with that. You got there. Holy crap, that's amazing. So this one with the stars, the room that you're seeing the stars, is it on a screen that you're seeing stars, or is the room filled? Is it in the walls? Where are these stars?
It almost seems like it's in space. Like I just see stars like as if you were in space. And the room itself, I feel like as if it was a house, or like I don't know if it's a house. I can only see walls and structure, but I'm back a little ways, so it's like I'm looking as if you're clipping through, so you can see the walls and the floor, but they're all the same color. It's like a transparent with a hint of blue, and I can see through it and see the stars all around. I almost as if I was in space.
Okay, so what you're going to do, look around. Do you see entities? There's all different kinds, from ones that look like really large gray type beings with huge heads. You've got mantis beings. You do have some that look like humans as well. Do you see any entities in there?
Actually, when you mentioned the mantis thing to look around, so that's like an insect, right? Like a bug?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, no, I can see that, but they're bipedal, the ones that I see. And they're kind of, they almost seem like their heads have a brown grayish color.
And it's not trying to capture you. It's not mad at you, anything like this. So ask this entity, what is the purpose of this room? What are you doing in here? Let the information come to you any way possible, from hearing, a movie, a picture, or just a download of information.
I get the idea that it's for observation.
Correct. Yes, it is. Yes, that's where you are. This is a room where they're monitoring a whole sector. A whole sector. It's done on a small level. Like, okay, in this room we're managing planet Earth, and then if you go up to another room, a little bit higher, on a higher level of management, these people, I don't know what to call them, are managing the solar system. Then you go up a little farther. These ones are managing galaxies. And then you go up a little farther there. So you've got a structure similar to what you see in 3D up here with all of the management. So it doesn't matter what you're trying to find the information to. You're going to find it. I mean, think about this. This gets to look really crazy. Think of grubs, because we just had a problem with grubs in our lawn. Think of how many grubs are underground. And then think of all of the microorganisms on each of those grubs. There is a room for not only every grub and its experience that it is having here, but every microorganism, every bacteria, every tiny little virus, all of those, we're having experiences, and there's a room that manages it. That's how crazy this gets. It functions on thought as well. Whatever you think, when you get there, you look around and go, "Oh, that's cool," but I don't like it. This is a very long process that takes place in 1/10 of a second. I was looking around. I don't know. I don't like this. It's it doesn't jive with me. Let's decorate, and all of a sudden you got polka dots on the wall. This ship is very interactive. Whatever you're doing with your thoughts, it does. If you want something that's I don't know how to judge distance, but let's say it's 100 yards away. You want that, just bring it to you. You don't have to walk to it. You can transform a room. You can say, I want this bit of information, and open up a hole from you to it. You can, to get the information, you can put on headphones, imaginary headphones, and plug it into the wall. Get the information that way. You can have an imaginary monitor to Google questions, and the answer will appear on your monitor. Some people will absorb into the wall and become one with the ship, where they just can access anything at a whim. Everybody's different about how they access this information. The easiest way to access, and I don't want to say you're handicapped because you're still getting the information. You're just getting it in a slower way that's more archaic in 3D. If you absorb into the wall, it's boom, 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 instantaneous information on command. But if you have to go ask the entity, and they won't tell you, if there's resistance, if the entity's like, I'm not going to tell you, or that's you blocking yourself, because you have every right to have all this information. Get that block, find it in your body, drain the color out, take it out of your body, put it into source to recycle. And it doesn't matter of, are Pleiadians really real? What do they look like? Boom, bring the information to you, and you're looking at them going, oh, holy crap, it's not quite what they're saying, but holy crap. Oh, my, what about the Archons? I don't know, what's that all about? Go to the room that manages the experience that the Archons are having, and get to know everything about the Archons. This is where you've got all that information. Some people, they get real quick, well, what am I doing tomorrow? I'm like, really? Here we are outside of the omniverse, and you're worried about tomorrow in 3D. Oh, my goodness. Oh.
So, personally, I find this really cool. I love the idea of taking a journey on my own, and I'm hoping that, the audience listening out there have also taken a journey. So I think we've went on a really cool trip here. Is there anything, Kelli, that you would like to add before we clue up the show?
Well, I'm not sure exactly along what lines you would want me to conclude, but what I have come here to do basically is not save people. I can't save anybody. But what I did is I came back from dying to show people how to save themselves. They just forgot how to do it, and that's what I do almost every day. Is I work with people, and I show them how they can control their bodies, get all this energy, manipulate it, put it where it's supposed to be to have the best experience. Suddenly, that they're like, oh, there was this crappy life I was living. Who's doing this to me? They're in this state. All of a sudden, they have things in their proper place. They take the chakra implants out. They have complete and total control over themselves without even having to go into this place where the ship with the aliens are to make changes to what's going on. Just by fixing all of this, your life changes, and it starts going in a different direction altogether. But I want everybody to know how powerful they are, and to enable them to see, experiment for themselves. Don't take what other people say. This is your movie. You decide what you do with it. Don't live someone else's book. Don't live someone else's method. Go out and do it yourself. What holds people back is the need to know. This is what we've drilled into everybody's brain on this planet. I have to know what's going on, and that's what blocks people from the information. If you go, okay, I see a glob. What is it? What is it? Okay, stop asking. Just go, because it's a glob. What else is out there? I'll figure out what it is later. I don't have to worry about it. Oh, look, there's another thing. This is how you find out what's going on. You have to be okay with not understanding things, because we as humans are not okay with that. And then you start to make these discoveries that I've made myself, because I'm like, mine's an attitude problem, I think. Nobody's telling me what to do. I'm going to find out myself. That's how I did it. I wasn't going to let anybody else tell me. I wasn't going to believe them anyway, unless I saw it. So anyway, I teach people to go find it for themselves, find out the truth. When they've gathered, they go, oh, I know what's going on. Oh, what about this? What about that? Oh, first of all, it takes time, and people don't want that. They want to take a pill and get all this done. That's not how it works. Instant gratification. So you go, it's like, oh gosh, I grasped 90% of it, but what the frack is that over there? I have no idea. Now let's go read a book. Now you've been there, you've experienced it, you know what's going on. Not quite clear about all the details, but you know what's going on. You read somebody's book, and you go, he's right on about that, and oh, he didn't get that part at all. He's so wrong on that. That's just him not knowing and guessing. And this one, what did he say that? Seriously? Oh, here's the part I didn't understand. Oh, now he says that. I don't know. I'm going to go back and test what he says about that 10% I wasn't sure about. Go back and go, nah, it doesn't fit, or, oh, he was right. And that's how we help each other. Don't let someone else help you start this journey. Start it on your own, and then refine it with working with other people. That's the best suggestion and advice that I could give to anybody. Do it yourself, because what happens, you've allowed other people to tell you about this. We call it the Bible, books, other things. Other people have told you what to do. Taking back your sovereignty is doing it yourself, and you have to be responsible for yourself and do a little work. And I love you guys. I say this all in love. The reason I'm telling you this is I want you to be happy and have a wonderful experience here.
And of course, Kelli, this is your thing. You have a big channel that's like dedicated to all these different lessons and different things that people can learn. So I know it's called Kelli and the Raw TV. Is that how people would find it on YouTube? Just search Kelli and Raw TV?
Yes. I've got my website is kellicoffee.com. That will direct you there if you have no idea how to navigate YouTube. I hope you guys do. But on YouTube, it's Kelli and the Raw. As well, Kelli with an I, Kelli and the Raw is where you can find me. I have 1,200 videos. 100 or so are how to cut your hair, how to cut your friend's hair. That's about 100 of them. The rest of them are how to be psychic. I have stuff on dyslexia. I've got a whole series on dyslexia, how to manifest in ways, the 30-day challenge. Oh, my gosh, people need to see that. So this is all for free, absolutely for free. I've got so much training, and I just tell people it's out there for free. If for some reason you want a live person to help you, or you're stuck or whatever, then come book an appointment and see me. I'm here to change the world. And I'm here to help you guys do what you came here to do. That's what I'm going to do in supporting that, and that's why I have all that free stuff out. So, people are like, oh, Kelli, you charge. We get into this church mentality of we have to stay in poverty, because it's like the church's attitude is, if you have extra money, it's dirty. And if it's dirty, you have to give it to us.
Yes.
And we'll clean it for you. That's what the church taught us to do, and that's why we think that spiritual work somehow, I work very hard, and you get paid. So for those people, I have 1,200 videos. I only have you for an hour in person. There's 1,200 videos, millions of minutes of stuff.
That's right. And besides which, nobody can work for free. You have to live, you have to eat, you have to, that's just a reality that we all live in.
I would feel guilty if I told people, I'm the only one. I know everything. Come to me and I will tell your future. No, I teach you how to see your own future and how to work with that. So if I would feel so guilty for doing that. But no, here's all this stuff for free. If you wanted any extra, if you need some of Kelli's time away from her family, we charge for that. My family gets really mad if I don't.
Yeah, sure. You'll have to buy them gifts to make them feel better. That's kind of goes hand in hand. So, Kelli, I want to thank you for coming on to the show. It was really, really cool. It was really fun. We don't get to do this kind of involvement ourselves very often, where like Ryan and I get to be a part of the the exploration and stuff like that. So it's really cool when we get to do it. For everybody else out there, I really, really hope you dug the show. And of course, hop on to YouTube and search up Kelli and the Raw TV and check her website out, kellicoffee.com, I believe you said it was.
Yeah.
So just get out there, and I'm sure that there's just tons of awesome content for you guys to check out. And if you have an effed up story of your own, we'd love to hear it. You can send it to, you go onto the Effed Up Stories website, EFFEDUPSTORIES.com. Submit it, and we'll get it on the website and into a podcast. And with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will catch you next time.
Thank you so much for being with us tonight, Kelli. I really appreciated the conversation and the little guided tour, as it were. And thank you, everybody, for listening. Have a great night.
And then it was just moments after that, he died. He let go, and he died. So when somebody is in a horrible state, which typically these people are, in awful vibrations, if you want to call it that, when they die, maybe they just robbed a bank and they're running from the police, and there's a lot of, oh my gosh, going on, heavily into drugs, just committed suicide, was just a horrible person, or turned on themselves. But when you die, you're in this awful, horrible vibration, and you're still a creator being, whether you're in this body or not. You are a creator being. And wherever you're vibrating, you start creating on that level. Okay. So people who are in a horrible vibrational state will create, or they will not attract. What word am I trying to because there are levels lower than us.
So they're
We're not the lowest level.
Are they drawn to these, like if you're a person, I guess, that deals with this stuff, if you have a lot of guilt, I guess, over things that you do, are you just so you're just pulled there? Is there a way out? Is there a
Absolutely. Oh yes, I wouldn't tell you about it if there wasn't. So what has typically happened, obviously people have come back to tell you about this, and their story is almost exactly the same. And I didn't want to just believe them. I went out and experienced it for myself. But they were like, oh my gosh, I'm going to the pits of hell. This is awful. There's screaming, there's burning, there's all this horrible red being instead of a blue being that came to get people when they died. And when he walked into the room, the man he died, just not very long after he came into the room, but he was on all fours, his hands and knees. He had crawled up backwards onto the wall trying to get away from this red being. He was so terrified and screaming, get him away from me, get him away from me, why is he here? And very, very upset. So he came in, he said, lay down. He got him to lay down. He said, can I pray with you? Because, they're trained to, whatever their religion is, let me help you with that. Can I pray for you? And he said, oh, yes. So when he started praying with him, the man calmed down. And then the red guy went away, a blue guy appeared.
Which a lot of people experience. Actually, many experience this, this light tunnel that they're led towards. And there's some people that go in the darkness, and they call that the void. What about people who, they have these experiences like hell? They say they have no control, and they fall. It's the feeling of falling, and they end up in this terrible place where they experience like the extremes of pain, the extremes of everything. How does that work? How does that connect?
A lot of people that end up in this place called hell, because I started doing some research on this, and the nurse that I interviewed, there was one time he saw a
So
you can do anything you want. Mm-hmm.
One question I got for you, because you seem to know a lot about this stuff, and maybe you'll have because I don't know the answer. So like you had this experience when you died that you pop out of your body and there's this tunnel of light